Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This is civilization started over episode 8. If you can see here, I have done the province maps, as I said last time. I haven't finished it yet, but I have done the borders, so any map changes happen in this video. Well, obviously they will, but yeah. The original map will be to the left on episode 7 in the provinces. Anyway, let's get to the video. Yet again, I'm just going to say this, and if you want to name the country, go ahead. I have named 4. Any of the other nations are 3. I will start naming them as the series goes on, and they'll come up with names. But anyway, let's go to the brown team. This brown team has now finally hit the red team. They agree on this border, and now the brown team starts looking elsewhere, sending ships this way, and all around. If you saw this way, there is an island. They hit, now it's black, sorry. They hit here and start exploring around, eventually discovering the entire north section of this island. As they veer further down the coast, they meet up finding this island, and also find this little peninsula, like here. So then the brown team makes a little colony up here, planning to use this to explore around. Doing so, they finish exploring this island and explore this a bit more around the coast. Meanwhile, in this continent, the pink team continues expanding around, exploring around the coast, like this, eventually reaching like the cold. The cold is around here. They reach here, decide to stop, and then go back down south and continue exploring around here. Eventually reaching this little nub here, and also want to do that to make it look a little nicer, like that. With the exploration ending, they decide to expand a bit around here, and this island and north of this island here. And for now, that is it. The Yuchang country starts to actually expand down, seeing the threat from this new country that I believe they had a pact with the brown team to agree to split up. But I don't think they had a pact with the lavender team. So they start to expand down the coast to ensure that they can quickly cut off the lavender team if it needs to be, and they also expand slightly further inland to kind of secure the original claims they had up here. Anyway, in the pink team, they finally start getting stable enough to move further inland, which is kind of hard as it is a desert and tribes, but they do manage to go down slightly, reaching around here. They then send some volunteers to explore this area, nearly discovering all of this northern area. And Austria also sends some, discovering more of this area here and some of the bottom here, leading to this area shrinking a bit as more people start to explore it. I don't know why I keep doing. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyway, the orange team starts to expand further up this coast, realizing they need to explore more as they reach kind of here. After they reach, so then they start exploring, reaching up to there and a bit inland, like so. However, some people in this area down here and up here decide to move because of the bad stability. I need to delete the old one. Bad stability. They start to go down south all around and whatnot. Eventually finding the red team, which tells them to go away. but like not as kindly. So then they continue down south, eventually hitting these islands here. All of these people have to... Why am I on the names layer? Wait. Then I've done that all on names layer. Good. Sorry about that. For some reason I was on the layer. Must have accidentally misclicked. Anyway. As they reach down here, they start to explore these islands and fully discover all of them, and then way too far zoomed in. They also meet up with some green team exploration vessels, which they do work with. And let me check, I don't think the orange I'm planning to use has been used. No, it has. Thinking about it, that colour I accidentally coloured the name layer and I can use that. Anyway, they fully colonise this island, colonising half of this as well, and a little bit of this. This is only civilian like ships though, so they are not really built for exploration, and not built for exploration, and also they don't have any funding, so it's hard to set up a new nation. But the capital is there as I placed it. So over here hasn't been explored for quite some time. So then the green team has been building up some funding to actually send out another exploration up in this direction. Why am I on the wrong layer again? Silly me. Anyway, they continue expanding up here and here, fully discovering the coast of these and all of these islands here. They then send a vessel around here, discovering that coast and the rest of this island here. They then send exploration teams to fully discover these 3 areas, and also a bit more of this, leading to this area being pretty well, documented. So up here there is a small excursion of the explorers that want to continue that reach up here and all of that island, while most of them return and then get told to go further down here, which they do, discovering this opening to the bay area and these islands here, leading to the current end of exploration to this part of the video. As conflict has started to arise once again in the unstable countries, a lot of distrust within the government is starting to grow, leading to this puppet government starting to collapse, leading to the old government breaking out and getting loads of trust. The orange team to the nation is heavily against this, but as they are also hit by the economic crisis, they can't really do anything about it. So as the dark purple team starts to fall, another country gets involved. This green team pushes up, not fighting this purple country, but aiding it, in fact. This government surrenders, and the green team returns all land they occupied, leading to them, the purple team, leaving the alliance. I said the alliance, not existence. Leaving the alliance. Also, leading up to the creation of a new alliance, I might need to change the size of the brush. How about 10? Yeah, I'll do that. Leading to the creation of a new alliance. The Square Alliance. So, people who join the Square Alliance are the purple team, as they do not like these two, as they betrayed them and forced them to become puppet. the I don't know what I did there, but this country that got forced onto the island, this country up here, and also this country down here, kind of making another block that Triangle team has to deal with. As Triangle Alliance starts to look up, another alliance forms to protect the interests of the group. The green team and the purple team, the Trapezoid Alliance. Okay, I'm just gonna do what I did for the last one. Trapezoid Alliance forms up north, including these two countries, and this country here, which I'm gonna make a lot bigger. There we go. Kind of making a north continental alliance, which kind of makes the Triangle Alliance pretty locked for war. Anyway, let's go down to over here. The brown team, seeing that over here, well, let me actually show you. Over here has not a lot of resources compared to the old hand, decides to attack a nearby country. And just get the right colour. I'm going to say that's alright. They start to move into the yellow. Why am I always on the wrong layer? Sorry. They start to move into the green team, following the coast, as the green team is surprised. However, when they start to, start to get their heads together, they do manage to do a little pushback up here, and that is way too close. I'm going to do dark green, just to make it different. Anyway, they start to push back up here, but bear in mind, most of the infrastructure is actually on the coast, so kind of useless. As they start to hit the major cities major settlements around this river, I'm going to say there's river there, they do start to get held back, as their push runs into a stalemate. However, the brown team push does continue, nearly pretty much cutting off the capital islands from the mainland, as brown team ships start to flood into the state, taking this island, but they do manage to hold on to this island. Not for long though. As the brown team continues their push, they make a spearhead to cut the country in half, which is successful, leading to pretty much this area falling, as all of the army pretty much over here. The capital island is then landed on, then taken. These troops up here don't surrender, but they flee. They pretty much is surrender, but because there's no one now to defend that area, but they flee up to some country. Not gonna give any hints, but maybe it's a little north. The wrong way. Anyway, the brown team, seeing that it's probably not wise to fully annex them at this point, decides to decides to pretty much just annex majority of the. Have I done any actual provinces? No. Decides to annex all of that and the capital islands. Same again, I'm going to add the major city of the capital. Just make sure I don't forget where it is when I need to make a new capital. Oh, I make the major city map. Blur, sorry. The capital of the, I'm going to make it the green team again, but it is there. As if it's any closer, they might be taken from the green team. That's hit. Why do I always do this? But anyway, that's another capital that is now gone. Anyway, as the brown team starts to integrate the area, they run into a problem as many civilians start to rebel. But any citizens that start to rebel are mysteriously disappearing. Many of them start to shut up. I feel like something is happening. It feels like the brown team is trying to get rid of the arguers, well, the people who are going against the government. Seeing this, and this expansion into odd territory, the Lavender country starts to fortify this border as they are pretty weak still. Bear in mind, most of the population is around this area. So especially down in the brown team, this population is in, and you gotta grab this red. Most of the population was in this, and this area and this area. Oh, more like But anyway. So that means the Lavender team has barely any soldiers. What? No. Sorry, messing around. Anyway, the Lavender team has barely any soldiers. So they do look for the pink team for help, but the pink team tells them to go away. As the brown team and pink team are getting quite close. While we're over here, the Austrian country starts to expand again, further inland, using the explorers I did earlier to do that. Also then fully exploring this section here, and this weird pointy there. Seeing this, the pink team moves to take this land to cut the route channel off from expanding further into this island. This area. But seeing this, they do some further expansion into there. The pink team now starts to expand further, taking these two islands, but does run into some trouble when expanding further due to natives. Back over here, another conflict is brewing. This country over here is starting to become very anti-sweating. I realised I forgot to turn the alliance layer off. But anyway, they're starting to become very anti-red, this peach country. Which does then lead them to, let me find a good colour. Let's do this one. To push in, not knowing about the alliance, of course, because they would never, start to push in to this country. As the peach team was very surprised and pretty new as they formed after the brown team breakup, they do start to fall very quickly as the pink team starts to reclaim their old lands. That is around that, I believe. As this starts to happen, they realise they're in an alliance. This guy is in an alliance, and then doesn't have enough time to move troops back as turquoise team troops start to flood in from the north and also fully take this island. As troops start to push back up here, it does lead to this front then falling and kind of stalemating like this for now, as the green team does not move their troops away because both the brown team and this alliance up here is threatening them. Seeing this, the green team, wanting some more land across this coast, starts to push, and that is too close yet again, so I'll do dark green. Start to push, taking this before troops start to arrive. They do manage to build a little fortification along the border, the territory to hold. But anyway, as the pink team sees this, they do then start to push into the peach country, aiming towards their capital. The spearhead is blocked and stalemated again. However, the pink team does surprise attack, taking back this land, eventually taking back their original borders. The green team, seeing the peach army rushing back up north, back up north, to stop the spearhead, does use this as an advantage to take more southern coast before piecing out after reaching the lake and taking that area. As the green team has made peace, the army starts to flood back, circling most of the pink team army. And then the army surrenders. Don't know why it took me so long. Massive surrenders start to happen across the pink team front as the army realises they stand no chance anymore, as they are fully pushed back and start to get invaded once again from above. As that starts to stalemate, I think the wrong colour. The peach team does then start a spearhead from the south, because this border is pretty fortified, it's expected them to spearhead from there. They do then manage to do a little encirclement over here, taking some more troops, which leads to mass surrenders across the border region. And then the green team decides that they want even more land and then attacks the pink team, taking some more coast. As the pink team sees this and their capital is taken, they surrender to the original country they attacked. I'm now going to cut to a peace treaty instead of making you watch it like usual, so I'll see you there. So this is the peace treaty as seen below. The pink team is basically nothing. The green team has expanded a ton and has got more land than they originally were allowed from the pink team, as they agreed to return some of the land they have occupied from the peach team. The pink team is then forced to agree not to expand, and also full military access to all three powers, as it's kind of just a shared territory with the capital. Anyway, the green team decides to not expand, as they are still extremely unstable from annexing a bunch of land. This country has now become pretty strong, as they have pretty much annexed the entire of this island. They have an ally with a big power on the island, and they have good relations with the green team, as they pretty much just annexed the ethnically brown team citizens, not the tribesmen that took over this country. Anyway, as the brown team starts to lose control of the green team, another green team gets involved. They demand around this much. Then, as they refuse, they demand that much. Then, as they refuse, they decide that it's probably not reasonable. The original second amount and ask for that much. They accept, knowing they will probably die if they don't return it. But also saying this, they do annex that land to make sure they can't really say that's green team, we want it back. Also, the economic crisis strikes again. The red team, no, wrong. Sorry about that. The red team somehow appears back up here. Yes, it is the same one as that one. They must have been doing some proper silly things in Ireland. Then, from the island, they launched an invasion, taking the capital within a matter of weeks, with no resistance, as most of the citizens around here still think they believe of themselves of red team origin. As more of the land starts to either rebel or be taken, the entire of this nation, of this section, falls, as the green team sees that it's the old red team and starts to attack, not wanting to have a big border with them. They push up, taking up to there, and then encourage the purple team to do the same, and they reach to there, as the rest of it falls over to the red team. So, let me just do another major city. There. Anyway, their capital is now moved back to the original capital, and a major city is left there. Anyway, the red team has now re-emerged up here, and it's pretty much the borders that they occupied, which is like that, with the green team gaining some land there, just to make the borders look better, because I don't like the borders. Anyway, the red team re-emerges up here, leading to the green team. being terrified, not green team, orange team being terrified as they realise they're way stronger than them. But they do understand that this alliance here does have a chokehold over the red team, which they do not join the alliance, which I was planning to do just a second ago, but they do now have good relations, as they kind of have no other choice. The final nation of this put-it squad down here rebels up here. The purple team then starts to help them to stop the red team from expanding further, which does not happen as they expand further. Meeting that border there, they do agree to let the blue team have like that, but do request this land back, which they do get. Anyway, let me check how long the recording is. 27 minutes. I'm going to say we should have another small event. Also, I don't like that blue. Let's change it to a... What's a dark... Let's just keep it as like dark blue. It's a 3 nations. I did like that dark blue there. But anyway, over here, this, seeing the threat the brown team starts to hold, does not want to remain with the purple team, as they may become a puppet of the brown team if they do fall, which leads to an area rebelling, which is green. Seeing what is down there might be where the soldiers fled to. Okay, I need to tell you the path of soldiers, because that's going to be important. The soldiers that fled from the green team fled up here into the newfound purple team, where they got sent, where they rearmed and got permission to go further from the purple team. They go down this river into the Austrian country. From there, they went down into this lavender country, where they then made their way to this section here, where they are now starting rebellion to make sure they are not under brown team control. As no citizens in this area actually agree with them, they do start to rise up. They don't select parts like up here and there, as they are heavily funded. Same as down here, as it is also heavily funded. But as this area is cut off, it kind of fully rebels away. The yellow team, green team, as it still has the army of the, well, like 50% of the army of the old green team, does start to push up, taking all of that. They do not have a navy, but they do somehow manage to take that island. Don't know. Anyway, as they continue to push down here, they manage to push the lavender team fully off the island, and then they use bridges to get onto this island. But before they can reach the mainland, the bridges across here are blown up. Using bridges yet again, they do make it to this island. Then they swim and take this island. They're very good swimmers. Talking about swimming, they do then start to swim and take this area here, before the lavender team admits, well, lets them be independent if they return some land, as I am kind of drawing here. I don't like that. I don't like the mainland. Let me stand this up. Do not this all like curve, so it's like that. They also do force them to return these islands, which does lead to a new country being formed in the mainland. Capitals there. Capital will be placed there, and they instantly somehow gain very good relations with the pink team, as they realise the pink team might have been trying to get that area to rebel quite some time. Anyway, let me get the map. This is the map of the current map. We have pretty much all of this area explored. the coast of this is fully occupied or colonized. This coast is pretty much nearly colonized. This has not moved as they have not gained any more technology to be able to. There's kind of starting to reach the cold area of up here, around there. I don't know, I'm struggling. Anyway, the green team has become slightly expansionist, but has now got good relations, so they might go back to exploring the world, like they'll set up to do. Anyway, the blue team has been pretty peaceful, actually starting to work well with the red team, even though they are a rebellion. The civilian country is doing pretty well, as lots more people are starting to flood down, especially from the blue team, from the people who don't like either government. And some of the people there flooding into the countries around there. Let's do a quick change of the stability map. I'm still not updating it, you can deal with that. I'll update it between next videos, but that country is good. Why am I over the bloody capitals? Sorry. Anyway, that area is good. Brown team is good as well, I would say, because they took more land. Rather the country is pretty bad, but the rebellion area is good. The Austrian country does actually meet up with the Rutan country. Whereas these, they're yellow. These countries, as they broke away and joined the red team, this should be green, but I'm not fiddling with that. Anyway, the yellow, the Timber country, Timber nation, actually turns to this darker, that's the wrong purple, but turns to this darker red, as they kind of become more unstable as their politics broke away. Why do I feel like it's... Oh no, I haven't highlighted mine. But anyway, that is kind of what it looks like. You can imagine how it looks like compared to that. But that is the end of today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment and like and subscribe and comment if there are any ideas. Hope you have a nice day and goodbye.